Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I want to reach out to all of you beautiful souls out there and see how you are doing. I hope you're able to get out in nature. I know in my area I was able to get out this morning and do some yoga and meditation out at a park nearby. And so today in my area, it said on my phone, like it was supposed to get like about 93, 94 today. So today I decided I have plenty to do in my apartment, but I did get out. You know, I have put some things off, so I need to balance myself right now. So anyway, I want to reach out to all of you out there, and I hope you are making sure you are drinking plenty of water if you know you're getting out, and especially like in my area, like I said, today, you know, like 93. I don't even know what it went up to. I was out doing different things that I had to do. I just got my hair trimmed again. I'm trying to look for a new look. So I got to figure this out. Is soda shorter, you know? So anyway, is also I just want to, not forget is I hope you're really being kind to yourself and not only yourself, but the other people around you, not just your family, not just your husband, not just your wife, not just your mom and dad, but how about people out in public? You know, really be friendly to everyone, really. And I really can't tell you what to do, but, I never could figure that out my whole life, where I feel like an alien when I go outside, the way people, respond, like you go on a bike path and, you might say something to somebody and say, "Oh, what a beautiful day," or give them eye contact, or smile at them, or something, and you know, it's like, aren't we all the same here? There's nobody better than anybody else. I believe that my whole life is, I know a lot of people believe in different races and stuff like that, but we're all the same. Not only that we came from the same source, is that we all bleed red. You know, last time I did get my, blood taken away, and I kind of forgot what my blood type was. And I kind of knew, but I had it backwards a little bit. So I did get my little donor card. Yay! But I do want to make a video on that soon, as what is your blood type, and do you know what your blood type is? I asked people that, because when I donated blood, I looked it up. I'm like, wonder what that, I'm always looking up something, so wonder what that kind of blood type is, what is about my blood type. So anyway, I do love all of you, and I'm sorry I'm getting a little distracted here. And so I was trying to send out a video, and I have some old videos. I just put out one today was an older video, and it might have been like around April, so I had to put that out because I was having a hard time getting I was trying to edit a video, and it wasn't working out because the more I was editing it, I realized I had to take a whole lot out of that video. So now I'm going to remake that video again. But before I do, I just want to say thank you to all of you that do watch my videos, or even watch them, like them, share them, or send messages down below, or even subscribe. I thank all of you for all of that. I really do. You don't know how much that really means to me. So it's like you're inspiring me. Here I'm thinking I'm the one supposed to be inspiring you, but you're inspiring me. So anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, you can find me at Starlight, and that's Kathy with a K, Dingman. Plus, you can like this video, and by liking these videos, it's going to help other people get this information. Plus, you could share this video with a friend, family, or even your pet. And don't forget the notification bell. So that is very important. I do that on all my subscriptions that I have. Subscribers, I mean, not subscriptions. I'm creating new words. I don't even know. But, is that I do that all, like I want all I can get from these people on their, the subscribers that I have. So I make sure I do the little bell thing, and that's all. This is all free. You don't have to pay for it. Subscribing, you don't have to pay for liking, you don't have to pay for the bell. You don't. It's beautiful to get a message. I did get a message today. I have to respond back to someone, because I helped them out somehow or another in a video that I just put out today, I believe. Today's video. So anyway, you can also follow me on Instagram, and that is at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Digman. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but I recently had a video that got deleted, and it was about I was talking about COVID in that part of the video. And I know I got a little carried away with some of the things because of the frustration of the topic. But it did get deleted for one reason or another. And I didn't even read the part that, I didn't even know that, I do know somebody out there that does talk about COVID and help me get through COVID. And then I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm not, like they're acting like you can't talk about COVID, it's like taking my freedom of speech away. Like I'm not allowed to have like my own opinion about something or my own input, about anything with COVID, so that's why the video that I was trying to, the one that got deleted, and then of course the video I wanted to send out last night, which I couldn't because by the time I got done editing it, there was really, it was just a mess. So, and I did get carried away on another topic that was on there. So I want to redo that all over again today. So anyway, bear with me. I'm sorry I'm explaining all this, but yeah, you got to really be careful because, use your voice, and that was the title. That was the title of that video that got deleted, is Use Your Voice. Isn't that funny? Of all the titles that I put out and topics that I put out, it would have to be one about freedom of speech. Ta-da! So anyway, I gotta get adjusted to this hair here, right here. So, I'm sorry, I'm having like, it just got cut, so it takes a while for the hair to get adjusted. Even though my hair is all freshly clean. So anyway, today I wanted to talk to you, and like I was trying to send this video out last night, is so what do you believe? And I'm going to kind of redo a lot of what I did say in the video that I was trying to send out, but I realized I really need to redo it. So anyway, is what do you believe? I never understood this my whole life, is why do we keep on celebrating these holidays? With Santa Claus, and that's where I started off, is, there's a lot of families still out there today that are, repeating the same thing that their families did. And even though we all know there's no such thing as Santa Claus, right, guys, girls? We know there's no such thing as Santa Claus, and that's what I was saying, is that it was a big shocker for me when I was a kid. I felt like my mom and dad deceived me, growing up when I did find out the horrible truth of that Santa Claus, was a fraud, and, the Easter Bunny, and I did find out when the Easter Bunny didn't come. And I've had many times where the tooth fairy never left me anything after I put the my tooth under the pillow. And I started off with my kids doing the same thing that my parents did, because that's what you thought was to do, and, it is kind of weird. So I did tell my daughter, when she was around 4 or 5 years old, and it was hard for me. I thought, man, the way I reacted, I don't even know how old I was, still believing in Santa Claus. A lot of kids try to warn me about it and tell me about it, but, I was, really thought I was right about the whole thing. And, like it was a lie. I was being lied to the whole time. And so I don't understand why today do we still repeat those things to our children, and I did tell my daughter and my son, so around, he was a couple of years younger than her, so he and it didn't really faze him at all because he really was too young to understand all that stuff anyway, so, and then my daughter did the same thing with her son, they first started out, celebrating with the Santa Claus, and then, he got at a certain age, and, she did the same thing and told him that, there isn't Santa Claus. There's no, yeah, there's reindeer out there, but they don't fly in the sky, right? And elves, when's the last time you've seen one? Or, a bunny rabbit running around? They did a lot of this because they don't want us to celebrate Christmas the way it was originally supposed to be, and I never even understood that either, is, if it was Jesus' birthday, it's supposed to be a time to give, like, because he was, to us, a gift from God, when he was born. And Jesus, when he was born, he received gifts as a baby. They had the three kings, they're giving him gifts. They traveled all, just to get to him, and it is interesting that, what all that means when you look it up in the Bible, and I was learning that, and I'm not going to repeat it right now because I can't remember, but it was a beautiful stuff that I was learning, and I never understood why do we still go out and buy, like presents every year. There's families out there that can't even afford to do this, where the community ends up putting money together, so then these families that don't have enough money to be able to afford to go and, do the same thing that all these other parents are doing with their kids, having like a Christmas, a tree and presents and all that. But really, I really never understood, and I still today, I really don't even want nothing to do with the holiday of Christmas. I love Jesus, of course, but, I was taught in the church, and that's what really discouraged me from ever do anything at Christmas time is, it is kind of weird how all this stuff works, where the church was like, it's Jesus' birthday, and I was learning about that, and that, more or less that, they, it's kind of funny how it is. They didn't really want me spending money on my kids, like for Santa Claus and all that, but they ended up wanting my money instead. Hey, don't celebrate Christmas with your kids, with Santa Claus, and all that stuff. Instead, stop celebrating that and give us the money, what you would spend. And so it is kind of funny how they did that. Is where now the money went somewhere else. I don't know where it went. So anyway, is that you got to really know, what do you believe, like, do you believe that's what we should do? If it's a lie, why are we doing that to our own kids? And a lot of times, what it is, the parents think it's fun that, hey, yeah, I want to be able to do what my parents did, like to go out and play like they're Santa Claus and go out and wrap up, do all this stuff for their kids. And it is fun, but really later on, it's really not the greatest thing to do to your kids, because, like, I never lied to my kids until the holidays came, so I felt guilty, and I felt really bad when I did admit to, hey, I've been lying to you all this time, and we've been fed a bunch of lies throughout history, and I was going to touch on, now I don't even know what I can or cannot do when it comes to talking about COVID, so I got to rethink all this stuff, So anyway, I won't talk about COVID, but say if another virus, comes around like COVID, let me think, how can I do this? Is, like, do you believe everything on the news? And I'm not talking about COVID right now, so I'm talking about a different kind of virus. So anyway, is, are you going to react the same way you did when COVID came? Are you going to believe all the stuff that the news people tell you? And I think today still that they have, hospitals out there that are still trying to get injections into kids and anybody and everybody that could ever like want to. The news does put fear out there to scare the heck out of people, and there are still people today that are wearing the mask, to protect themselves because now they are affected by what happened. So anyway, say if a different virus came around, are you going to go and run out, to the hospital or wherever to get an injection, not knowing really they didn't know what was in the injection, they didn't know the side effects. I read some stuff that some people had ringing in the ears because of COVID. There's a lot of things that were happening. There's people that died, who knows if, like, was it from COVID? I know a lady that went in a coma, and she did get the injections, and then she did get COVID, and she was in the hospital, and they had her up to tanks, and her daughter actually had to, she didn't want to live on machines the rest of her life, so she told her family, hey, if I am still hooked up to this machine on this certain date, then please unhook the machines, let me go. I've lived my life here, and so that's exactly what happened, is that, the poor daughter had to go to the hospital, and she did it all on her own. Nobody else went with her. She drove to the hospital, and she signed the paperwork for the doctors to unplug that machine for her, so then she can be set free. So she didn't have to be hooked up to a machine the rest of her life. So how are you going to respond, like, if anything like that happens again? It's a lesson, really, what happened when COVID did come. I learned a lot, really. I learned that to let love guide you, not fear. So, that is so important, and that's where a lot of people failed. And I started off that way, but I did have a really great friend out there that helped me to get through COVID, and I never got the injection. And, I have a freedom of, I do have a freedom to do that, like if I don't want the injection, and even if a different virus, wherever it comes from, and I can say this, is that, because I'm not talking about COVID right now, is, they can create the stuff, they can create whatever they want, and I'm not saying they did that with COVID or anything, but it is kind of weird, you think about it, where did all the other, then another, another, and, it's like, all right, ding, 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 something ain't right, and it just sends more fear, more fear, more fear, just planting that seed of fear around, filling people up with more fear. And so, like, I learned a lot with we were going through all this stuff, and it is a great test to find out who reacted the way they reacted, so now they know who reacted a certain way. It's all in the records, whether you took the injection or not, whether you got COVID or not, if you reported it, if you were in the hospital, so, a good number probably of people, that probably let the hospital or their doctor know that they did have COVID at one point or another. I know I ended up going in the ER, because of it, because I wasn't sure if something was wrong with my drinking water at the time. So, because I wasn't letting love guide me. So, I didn't know if it was COVID or, my drinking water, because I didn't know I was actually microwaving my tap water. And I thought that was actually going to kill everything and anything if I boiled the water, but then I found out it doesn't, So anyway, the other thing I wanted to say is, what do you believe, as far as also the other topic I talked about is, is there's some people out there still today that believe that you have to beat, and this, I worded it wrong in my other video, is, do you have to beat your children to get them to obey, to get them to submit? There are churches out there that practice this, is to beat your children with rods, and you might not know what a rod is, and, there's all different kinds of rods, but this is a rod that comes from a tree, a branch, a thin branch, that would be interesting if I made a video and show you how you pick one out, because I was taught how to do those kind of things, they say the weeping willow branch is the best. It's got a good sting. But I overdid it when I made that video, and I'm glad I listened to it before I pushed the send button. So I did really get carried away. So anyway, and today, even though it's more known today, like about abusing your kids. If you get caught, you're going to get in trouble. But when I was, around the time I was born, things just started turning, changing. But there was a lot of abuse going on, like when I was growing up. So, I mean, it was before my time when they started doing something to, help kids out that were being really beaten by their parents, either mom or dad or relatives or whoever. So do you believe that you have to beat your kids to get them to obey? And what I what I said in the last video is, if you believe, yes, that I ought to beat my kid, because that's what some of the churches were doing, is using the Word of God and saying, that to beat your child with a rod to save them from going to hell. And it did. It sent fear to the families. I am sorry, I am sweating. I don't have my AC on in here yet. I only have one AC, so it's a lot for that one AC to keep, cool off this whole apartment here. So I just use that AC for, when I go to bed. And then my bedroom door would be shut. So anyway, I'm so sorry, but I'm like, I'm not complaining though. I've been waiting for this weather, so I'm not complaining about this is what I've been wanting. I don't have my windows open in here or anything. So anyway, is if you do believe that you should beat your children in order for them to obey, then are you willing to take the beating? Or, just what you would do to your child? Or can you handle it? And I did. I really got carried away in the last video. I was in the moment, really, about that topic, because like I'm saying is that there are churches out there that do practice this today still, about beating your kids with rods, to the point where they were, beating them all on the back side of them. They're not just their butt, but it ended up, it ended up being their butts, their legs, and their backs, to so then it wouldn't be too much in one area, So, like with that, what I was saying in the other video that I did delete, is like if you are that type of person that does that with your children, and I'm not saying any of you are, is, would you be able to handle it if I used the rod on you? So that is a good question, what you do unto your kids, could you handle an adult doing the same with you? Kids need to really, we ought to, and that's the whole point of that message, was we need to be a great example to our kids, and be honest, they have this statement, and I hear it and I see it a lot, is do as I say, not as I do. And that goes on a lot where, kids in the beginning of their stages, when they're little, they don't know any better, until they start learning how to talk and putting sentences together and learning how, like facts and opinions. That's when things start clicking in, is when kids learn, is this a fact or is this opinion? And that's what you got to really ask, like when you're watching news and stuff, is that a fact or is that opinion? Are they just trying to scare the heck out of you? And that's what they do. And then, like I knew somebody that was afraid of COVID, and I watched some people. They were really afraid, and they would run home, and they couldn't wait, to get that news on. And I never, I watched news when I was younger, and I can't watch it because it gets me so depressed and I cry. Is that I was at this person's house. I am sorry, I'm like, I got some, is, I am hot, is, I was at this person's house, an old friend, and, the news would be on, and it's been years that I didn't watch the news, and I couldn't believe how many times they would repeat, like they would have the news about COVID, and then it might go to the news, like another thing, and then it would go to a commercial, and then it would replay, just in case you weren't there to watch the whole news. Then, so if you were late on getting the news, well, then they would replay it and replay it and replay it and replay it through the whole entire, I don't even know how long the news is these days, if it's a half hour of news, I don't watch the news. So, and that's how much they drain in your head, just keep on repeating it. And that's exactly what I needed, in today, how I need to learn. I do have a special friend out there. I let them know that I do have a problem with remembering stuff, and I definitely have proved that when I make my videos. There's times I'm like, I can't remember, I'm like, I get stuck on something, where I do have it. I've been like that my whole life. So, for me, like even the churches do this, is that I need things repeated over and over again. There's sometimes I'll watch, a special friend, that I have, the video is so great that I'm like, you know what, I need to re-listen to that again because I want to drill it in my head so I can get it, I can remember it, because I want to remember that. That was a great video. Thank you. I need that, and so churches do the same thing where they will, and it's, can be the same way the news does things, is that they repeat things too, Sometimes it might be good for you in a way, and trying to teach you, positive things to help you out to live, like a Christian or whatever, and then other times they can repeat stuff to reprogram you, to get you to do stuff, like to keep you under control, so then it's repeated, and it's going to affect every person differently, so even with the movies and stuff like that, they have ways of getting people to do what they want. I don't know how many times I've watched a movie, either I was smoking pot or maybe I was drinking alcohol or, and we all like eating some kind of food, right? Where you're watching a movie and then, somebody's eating popcorn, it could be popcorn, I know not all of you smoke pot and I don't either right now. I gave that up. Or alcohol. I don't do alcohol anymore. But, you might, in the middle of the movie, like, I got popcorn in the, or you might think of crackers. Starlight loved, I loved crackers and cheese. I had a big thing, I had such a bad habit of crackers and cheese and pepperoni, crackers and cheese and, turkey, pepperoni, how much cheese and pepperoni and crackers does Starlight eat? Nobody knows. So I might be making you hungry. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, but or like especially smokers that smoke either marijuana or cigarettes or even alcohol. You might not have been thinking about even drinking that night, or even smoking a cigarette at that moment. So you got to really be careful of, what you watch, like they have the little monkeys, be careful what you see, hear, and say, you know. It is so true, though, the three little monkeys, see no evil, do no evil, say no evil, whatever, hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. So you do have to, be careful of what you see and what you let your family watch, and, like I said with the news, it is really ridiculous. And I don't even have to watch the news, if there's a snowstorm, I really wouldn't even have to look at my phone. Like when I had my cleaning business, I would have everybody else would tell me about what how the weather was going to be, and everybody was in the fear zone, they said we're going to get a foot of snow. Everybody's like, hey, we're going to get a foot of snow. It is like a virus. Everybody's, I always believe this. if we heard about the weather, right, and instead of believing what the weather person said, whether they're right or wrong or accurate, is instead of believing what they said, if we all went around and said, hey, yeah, instead of it's gonna, like a big snowstorm, oh, today's gonna be, like 40, I like 40 and up for the winter time. Yeah, today's just gonna be a sunny day, it's gonna be 40 out. And, everybody can go around saying that, instead of like the snowstorm, because I believe if we all believe, like if we went and spread that around and said, it's not gonna, there's not gonna be any snow. It's gonna just be a sunny, day, maybe even 50 out in the winter time. That's a beautiful day in the winter time. That's even better than 40, you know. So, you can spread that positivity around. A lot of people get in that fear zone in the wintertime with the weather. I know in this area, it was really bad. Like I said, I wouldn't even have to check my phone. If I go outside to just clean my car off, somebody out there might be, oh, yeah, they're going to say that, there's going to be like 6 feet of snow. And, and then later on, how much did we really get? It wasn't even 6 feet. Where everybody's like, they're, like running around and trying to prepare and hurry up. And I can understand if you're in a tornado area or some horrible stuff like that you definitely want to take precautions. I'm not saying you want to ignore, when you hear that there's a tornado, because I never lived in an area with tornadoes, throughout my life, so, you just got to really be careful of what you believe out there. And that was my whole message out there that I did yesterday, is to, question things is, and the time went so fast on this video, so I'm going to have to make another video because I have another topic to talk about. I got so many topics. So, yeah, you got to really think twice, and so I just have to rethink how I'm going to talk about stuff, and not say, really not talk about COVID. It's control. That's what this is. It's all about control. Like you don't have, now imagine a world that you're not even allowed to say anything if you got an opinion about something. Shame on you. Like if you have an opinion about something, now we're going to take your freedom away, that you can't talk. Like I believe in the freedom of speech, and that was my video before, is to use your voice. So more than likely somebody watched that video and got offended because of what I was saying, and reported me in on that, because that video has been out for a long time, and I just don't understand why now it would get deleted. So I just got a warning, and that's what that topic was, about using your voice before we lose our freedoms that we have. And that's why it's so important that you, use it before you lose it. It is so true, just like in a lot of stuff, and I'm not going to go on that topic right now. But, there's a lot of funny things out in the world. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So I do love all of you, and so, like if you, like I do have fans in my apartment. It just said it would have been, if I had one on me, you would have been hearing the fan, and I didn't want to have those sounds in this video, because you've been hearing the fan. So, anyway, I do love all of you, and I really make sure you're getting lots of water. I have some right here. Cheers. It's not alcohol. Yep. This is actually I found a place in my area. This is not from the store water. They have a spring water in Troy, and they test it out. So this is Troy water. I forgot where they said this water comes from. It comes way out there somewhere, they told me, but and I forgot all about it. That's why they do those things on the news, is to repeat stuff like that, because they know people get distracted in their mind space. They got all this other stuff to think about. So anyway, you can like this video, you can give it a thumbs up, you can share it with a friend or a family, or your pet, Do you have a dog, cat? And if you do, Starlight loves, you can always have them visit Starlight. Not in this apartment, though. Pets are not allowed in here. So anyway, and if you got any kids, I'll babysit. I love kids. So anyway, not only you can like my video, you can share it, you can ring the notification bell, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can leave a message down below, and also you can follow me on Instagram, and that is at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So anyway, I have time to make one more video because I will be watching a video coming up soon. So I definitely want to make sure I am there to watch that special video tonight. So anyway, I love all of you, and really be careful what you believe, and let love guide you, not fear. And that statement comes from my special friend that I'm always talking about, and that's Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart, and he has his own YouTube channel. He's the one that inspired me. I can hear background noise. That's neighbors. So, yeah, it was just that he helped me get through the COVID time. So, if you're struggling, if they ever have something like that again, that is the go-to guy. I'm serious. He will help you to get through any of that stuff. He's an awesome spirit being. So anyway, I am sending my love all to you, and enjoy the rest of your day or your night. And this is Starlight. Love and light.